Hare Krishna, welcome to the Bhagavad Gita class. Tonight we will do chapter 7, verse 28. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Prajagata Jasto Tarasata Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prince Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Sri Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. So Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 verse 28. I see that the comments are also not working. They're not coming up on lifetime. But whatever comments you type in, whatever you have a question or a comment, or you want to ask something, just type it in, and at the end of the lecture, I will go to the page and I will read the comments then, because they come up, but I just don't see them on real time. Yesham tu antagata papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva mohanirmukta vajante mandrida vrataha. Yesham tu antagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva mohanirmukta vajate maha mandrida vrataha. Yesham tu antagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam Te dvandva mohanirmukta bhajante mad drida vrataha yesham tu antagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam tve dvandva mohanirmukta vajante mandrida vrataha yesham whose to but punya papam sin jananam of the person punya pious karmanam previous activities te they dvandva duality nirmukta free from bhajante worship mam me dridavrataha with determination. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, and who are freed from the duality of delusion, engage themselves in my service with determination. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, and who are freed from the duality of delusion, engage themselves in my devotional service with determination. Purport. Those eligible for elevation to the transcendental platform are mentioned in this verse. For those who are sinful, atheistic, foolish, and deceitful, it is very difficult to transcend the dualities of desire and hate. Only those who have passed their lives in practicing the regulative principles of religion, who have acted piously and have conquered the sinful reactions, can accept devotional service and gradually rise to pure knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then gradually they can meditate in trance on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the process of being situated on the spiritual platform. This elevation is possible in Krishna consciousness in the association of pure devotees who can deliver one from delusion. It is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam that if one actually wants to be liberated, he must render service to the devotees. But one who associates with materialistic people is on the path of leading to the darkest region of existence. All the devotees of the Lord traverse this earth just to recover the conditioned souls from their delusion. The impersonalists do not know that forgetting their constitutional position as subordinate to the Supreme Lord is the greatest violation of God's law. Unless one is reinstated in his own constitutional position, it is not possible to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead or to be fully engaged in his transcendental loving service with determination. Yastu antagata papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandamo anirmukta vajante mam dridavrataha. So we are nearing the end of the 7th chapter, and here Krishna is explaining a very important point. And that important point is that you must be qualified before you can relate directly with the Supreme Lord. There is no doubt that Krishna is always with us. He is within our heart, and he is always waiting for us to turn our face towards him. Often we give the example of the two birds in a tree. There are two birds in the tree, one is eating the fruit, one is witnessing. Sometimes the eating bird enjoys the fruit, which is sweet. Sometimes the fruit is bitter and not palatable, and therefore the bird either enjoys or suffers. But the witnessing bird doesn't partake of the fruit of the tree. The tree is the material world. Urdhva mula madashakam. It is an upside down reflection of the spiritual world. When Krishna comes to the material world, he brings with him his own abode, his own paraphernalia, his own devotees, and his own consciousness. He doesn't change his consciousness because he comes into the material world any more than the governor, when he goes to visit the prison house, he doesn't become subject to the laws of the prison house. He doesn't become a prisoner just because he visits the prison. The governor may visit the prison to inspect or to inspire the prisoners to give up their criminal mentality. In the same way, Krishna comes into the material world, and actually he doesn't just come in the material world, it remains with the living entity wherever he goes in the material world. So Krishna is always present as the super soul, as the Paramatma within the heart. But he always maintains his position as the Supreme Lord. He never comes under the influence of the material energies of goodness, passion, and ignorance. The living entity, which is infinitesimal, they come to the material world to be independent from God, to enjoy life at the expense of God. And when they become entangled in material life, they forget their relationship with God. It is just like little children who play. Now, the children will play sometimes, the boys and girls, they play house. They have a little dollhouse, they have little teacups, pots, pans, toys, and they become absorbed in playing house. Sometimes the children fight with each other, they suffer, they enjoy, they cry, they laugh. But throughout this process of playing house, of playing, they forget their relationship with their parents. But their parents, when it's time to eat, when it's time to sleep, when it's time to take bath, they come and they stop the children from playing, and they bring them to the dinner table, they feed them, they take them, they give them the bath, they put them to sleep. This is the same way that the living entity, he begins to play in the material world. He has this desire to play, and he becomes disconnected from God because of his absorption in the amenities available in the material world. But Krishna doesn't become absorbed in the amenities of the material world because Krishna never forgets his consciousness as the Supreme Lord. He's always surrounded by many, many powers. Parashya Shaktir Vividaya Shruyate Swabhavaki Jnana Bala Kriya Cha. In the Upanishad it is said that Krishna has Parashya Shakti, or transcendental potency, transcendental energy, transcendental power. Swabhaviki, it is all within him. He doesn't have to import it from anywhere else. Krishna doesn't depend on anybody else for his power. We depend on the material nature's power when we are absorbed in material life, and we depend on Krishna's power when we become Krishna conscious. We are never independent. We are Tatashta Shakti. Tatashta Shakti means that we are either under the influence of Krishna or we are under the influence of the material world. Just like a citizen, he is Tatashta Shakti of the government. He is either under the law of the government, or if he breaks the law, he is under the laws of the prison house. There is no in between. It is one or the other. So we are called marginal energy. Krishna Tatashta Shakti, Beda Abheda Prakash. We are manifested from Krishna just like the sparks are manifested from the fire. And as long as the sparks remain near the fire, they manifest their brilliance. And the fire becomes more beautiful by the actions of the sparks. So Krishna has created us to enjoy our beauty, to increase his own beauty. So when we remain connected with Krishna, our natural effulgence, our beauty, our qualities, our knowledge, our inclination, and most of all, our love and affection becomes more and more intensified in relationship to Krishna. And therefore, Krishna enjoys with every living entity. And since there are unlimited living entities, Krishna is enjoying unlimitedly. This is the all sum substance of the creation. So, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is the story, the book which explains the nature of Krishna's last incarnation. Krishna has many, many incarnations. Ramadi murtishu kalani amena tishnan nana avatara makarod bhuvaneshu kintu. He comes into this material world and he manifests many, many different kinds of activities in different incarnations or avatars. Like Lord Rama. Lord Rama manifests the activity of the perfect king. Matsya, the fish incarnation, manifests the activity of the protector of the Vedas. Nrsingadev manifests the quality of the protector of the devotee. So in this way, there are nana avatara, many, many, many incarnations that come within the material world. The last incarnation which came into this material world is it is the most important, because it is the incarnation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the personification of Krishna's devotee. In other words, Krishna's devotees, especially the gopis, and especially his internal potency, Srimati Radharani, that potency is so powerful, it attracts Krishna. That potency is so overwhelmingly beautiful and overwhelmingly enjoyable that Krishna wants to taste it too. Therefore, it comes in the material world as Krishna, but it takes the mood of his devotee, Srimati Radharani. Therefore, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, right at the beginning, Krishnadas Kaviraj explains, Anarpita Chiram Chirat Karunaya Avatirna Kalo, that Karunaya Avatirna, the avatar or the incarnation of Krishna's mercy, had not been given in the material world for a long, long time. Anarpita means not offered. Chiram Chirat, for a very, very long time. Samarpaitum Unat Ujjwala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam. This karuna, this mercy of Krishna, becomes manifested as his bhakti shriyam, his own devotional service. The greatest mercy that you can get is the mercy of engaging in the devotional service of Krishna. Why is that? Because when you engage in bhakti, in devotion to Krishna, you actually relate to Krishna person to person. Krishna gives liberation very easily. You can go to the Brahmajyoti, you can go to the Vaikuntha planets, you can worship Krishna in the Vaikuntha planets as Vishnu. But to get a personal relationship with Krishna, where Krishna becomes your friend, where he embraces you, where he plays with you on an equal level, where your love for Krishna is so powerful that you forget that he is God. In the Vaikuntha planets, the devotees that worship Lord Vishnu, they have the same form of Vishnu. They are as liberated as Vishnu. They are as beautiful, as knowledgeable as Vishnu. And they have the same power as Vishnu, but they don't forget that Vishnu is God. They don't have that kind of love. That kind of love is manifested in Vrindavan only. And that Vrindavan bhakti, or devotion of Krishna, which is manifested in Vrindavan, is given by Krishna himself in the avatar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just like Krishna comes on this planet once in a day of Brahma, which is 4.3 billion years. You know, in a yuga, in a Mahayuga, Chatu Yuga, which is 4 million years, 10 avatar, 10 avatars come, Matsya, Kurma, Varan, Nrsinga, Vamana, Parasuram, Ram, Balaram, Buddha and Kalki. These 10 avatars come every Chatu Yuga. But Krishna doesn't come every Chatu Yuga. He comes every Mahayuga, every day of Brahma, which is 1,000 of these yugas. So 4 million times 1,000. So every 4 billion years, Krishna comes. And after Krishna comes, at the end of Dwapara Yuga, when he leaves this planet, the Kali Yuga begins, and he again manifests himself as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Anarpita Chiram Chirat, the 10 avatars don't give you direct bhakti to Krishna. Actual loving devotional service on a one-to-one, which is manifested in the spiritual world in Goloka Vrindavan, is only given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, in Sharanagati, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jiva Doya Kori, that Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya is in the mood, he comes to give doya, mercy to the jivas. Swaparshad, he doesn't come alone, he comes with his associates. Swaparshad, Swiyadham, he brings his own transcendental abode, Sa Avatari. And what does he come for? Ananta Durlabha Prema Kori Baradhan. He comes to give, which is very, very difficult to obtain, which is prema, or love of God. Love of God that makes you forget that Krishna is even God. In Vrindavan, when Krishna plays with his friends, sometimes they play one team against another team, and Krishna, if Krishna loses, he is obliged to carry one of his friends on his shoulders. So just see the bhakti and devotion, just see the closeness that Krishna's friends have with Krishna in Vrindavan, that they forget he's God, they climb on his shoulders and said, now I have won, you have to carry me. You have to become, and Kirya says, yes, I will carry you. So this kind of devotion, it is not to be found in any basic religious principle. It's not to be found in the Vedas. It is to be found only among the devotees of Krishna. Swaparshad, his associates. So, this Krishna, Hari Purata, Sundara Juti Kadamba Sandipitaha, this verse that I'm quoting from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, verse 4, is composed by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And he gives the blessing, Sadari Daya Kandare Spuratova Sachinandana. May that Lord Chaitanya, Sachinandana, may that Lord Chaitanya always reside within the cave of your heart. Hridaya Kandare. Kandare means cave, and Hridaya means heart. Within the heart there is a space, and in that heart Lord Krishna is manifested. We are also sitting within the heart. Our pleasure and pain is felt within the heart. We don't say, my head is bursting with happiness. When you become very happy, you say, my heart is bursting with happiness. When somebody hurts you, you don't say you broke my head. You say you broke my heart. And actually, when you feel great ecstasy in devotional service, that ecstasy is manifested in the heart. So Krishnadas Kaviraj is blessing us that anyone who takes shelter of Krishnadas by reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, he blesses him, he blesses her, that may Sachinandan, Lord Krishna, always reside within the innermost space within your heart. This is called Sadhu Sangha. We were lucky to have direct Sadhu Sangha with Srila Prabhupada, who actually came and showed us what Sadhu Sangha is. Prabhupada came to the West to teach us what is the value of Sadhu Sangha. And through his teachings, we can get Sadhu Sangha with great, great devotees like Rupa Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj, Vrindavan Das Thakur, so many great acharyas, the 6 Goswamis, all the different associates who are parshads of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He comes with his personal devotees to teach us how to become free from the absorption in material life, how to clean our heart so that Krishna will be pleased to manifest himself there. Your heart, it is the residing place of the living entity where you live, and that heart is also the place where you invite Krishna to come. If you invite a special guest to your house, at least you make the house clean. You make it very, very conducive so that the guest may feel at home, he may feel happy. You don't invite somebody to your house if the house is dirty. And if you want to invite Krishna into your heart, then the heart has to be cleansed. It is not possible for Krishna to reside in your heart if your heart is not cleansed. Krishna, and what is the cleansing process? The cleansing process is this devotion to Krishna, this affection to Krishna. And it comes, Krishna will test us over the period of a devotional life. There is the process of cleaning the heart, and that process is the chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. My dear Krishna, let me clean my heart so that you can come and reside into my heart. And Krishna will come when he sees that you are actually free from material contamination. Not that you invite Krishna in your heart and then you use him to get some material things. No, Krishna is not our order supplier, nor is he our entertainer in chief. Krishna is very entertaining. When you actually develop a relationship with Krishna, it is very funny, very sweet, very exciting. But it's on the transcendental platform. You cannot use Krishna to entertain yourself. Rather, you are supposed to entertain Krishna. How do we entertain Krishna? We entertain Krishna by making it possible to create a situation within our heart where Krishna will be pleased to come and relate with us. Just like Krishna is very pleased to live in Vrindavan. Vrindavanam parijjaja ek padam na gacchati. Lord Krishna doesn't take one step outside Vrindavan. When Krishna goes to Mathura to fight against Kamsa and to take the battle away from the Brijvasis, not to allow people like Kamsa, who his followers, to come to Vrindavan, when he goes to Mathura to establish law and order, he goes as Vasudeva Krishna. Nanda Gopal Krishna stays in Vrindavan and never leaves. Because, and what is the quality of Vrindavan? The quality of Vrindavan is that everybody loves Krishna. They have no other business. They don't care about their family, about their wives, about their husbands. They only care about Krishna. And how can we be with Krishna? How can we help Krishna? How can we serve Krishna? And this happens on a transcendental platform. So, it is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that if one actually wants to be liberated, he must render service to the devotees. And this is the process. By learning how to serve Krishna's devotee, we learn how to serve Krishna. Krishna says that, Naham vasami Vaikuntha. He says, I don't live in Vaikuntha. Yoginam hridayeshu va. I am also not in the heart of the yogi. Tatra yatra tishtami narada mania narada. I am sitting where? Yatra gayanti mad bhaktaha. Where my devotees chant my glories. So if you want perfection in life, take shelter of Srila Prabhupada, learn from him how to worship Krishna, how to chant the glories of Krishna, and then our relationship with Krishna will automatically manifest in greater and greater detail. The more we cleanse our heart, the more our heart will become clean. Cheto darpana marjanam. The heart should be clean so that it reflects Krishna. Krishna is there, but in his Paramatma feature. If we want Krishna there in his original form as the transcendental coward boy, then we have to clean that heart. Cheto darpana marjanam. Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. And the process of cleansing the heart is so wonderful that automatically we become attracted to it, we become free from the fire of material life. Material life, it is like living in a fire. Suppose there is a fire in the house. Then immediately we look, running here and there, where to escape. If there is a fire in the forest. The animals run helter-skelter in all directions to become free. Actually, that's a very good example, because the most envious of all animals, the snakes, they get burned first because they're not able to climb up trees or to run very fast. So the fire of material life burns more if you become envious to Krishna. And the more you become less envious towards Krishna, the more you try and use Krishna's property for your pleasure, the more you try and use Krishna to entertain you, then the more you become free from the fire of material life. So the process itself, the chanting of the holy name, is both the process and the conclusion. And it is sweet at all times. So Cheto Darpanamarjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. By chanting, we become free from the great fire of material life. Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. It is like on a hot day, like today, it's been very hot here in Amsterdam. But if the moon comes out at night, you feel cool, you feel refreshed. So the chanting of the holy names, they reduce the fire of material life and give us the pleasure of the moonlight, the coolness of the moon. Vidya Vadu Jivanam. And if you're interested in knowledge, simply by chanting, knowledge will come to your heart. You may read the Gita, you may read the Bhagavatam, you may read all the Vedas. But unless Krishna confirms that reading, unless Krishna confirms that knowledge of that reading, that knowledge will not be practical. Today, I was asked a question by one of the students that are participating in this Gita program. She's a young lady who lives here in Holland, but she's from India, from Madras. And she asked that sometimes in the Samhita, in the Manu Samhita, and other places, women are treated less than men. Sometimes it is said that men have the right to beat women or two. But actually, no. We have no right. We can only fight in our own self-defense or to protect the weak. So although the Vedas may have different instructions on how to deal violently with the material energy, that is because the Vedas are dealing with the modes of material nature. They're dealing with the material universe. Within this material universe, for example, if you look in the animal kingdom, there is a lot of violence. There's a lot of cruelty. The animals kill each other. So when men with the mentality of animals fight against each other, there has to be injunctions on how to limit this fighting, on how to transcend this nature of fighting against each other based on the bodily conception of life. To come to the level of understanding, Aham Brahma Asmi, I am spirit, soul, and my nature is, I am an eternal servant of God. Not only me, everybody else. Prabhupada gives the example that if you throw a stone in a pool of water, when the stone lands in the water, it creates a circle. If you throw a second stone in the same spot, a second circle is created, and a third circle, and as long as the stones land in the same spot, the circles will be concentric. They will not break against each other. So in the same way, if human nature is directed towards giving pleasure to Krishna, that is the center point. Then there will be peace on this planet. There will be other ways, believe me, you can try whatever you want, you will never get peace. You may get some entertainment, you may get some temporary relief, but eternal peace is only available if you give up everything and simply surrender at the lotus feet of Krishna. Thank you very much. So now I will end the live video and go to the comment section and see what you have to say. Thank you very much.